guys, welcome to my vlog. Today we are doing a little bit of cooking and a lot of chatting about July 4th. So right here I am making a dessert type treat. It is a berries cheesecake fluff sort of thing. I did about an ounce of blueberries, about 5 ounces of strawberries, 4 tablespoons of whipped Philly, and 4 tablespoons of sugar-free Cool Whip. So I am new to cooking radishes. Got me a bunch of fresh radishes and I decided to dice them up a little bit and boil them to soften them first before I put them in the skillet. Oiled up my cast iron skillet, and we're going to throw in some red bell pepper and then some onion, a little bit of seasoning, Once the radishes are about al dente to pretty softened, you want to drain them. I also threw in some minced garlic and a teaspoon of butter. And I tossed the radishes back into the skillet once they were drained, along with some corned beef. I'm sure a lot of this could be done outside on a grill, probably with aluminum foil. Now we're putting it together. I've piled up everything from the skillet, topped it with my egg whites, some queso blanco dip, just for a little extra kick. And welcome back to my vlog. Hopefully you can hear me. I've got my headset down here so it's not in my way. Still trying new things as far as my ability to get a microphone going that's not going to interfere with what I'm doing, with having another person next to me that needs to be heard, all of that sort of stuff. Talking with my hands today. We're very exaggerated today. So happy July 4th. It is coming up. This video will be posted on the 1st, I believe. So happy July 4th. This is the Cookout Collab. It thunderstormed twice last night. It was like a good maybe hour in between each storm, but it was so severe. Like, I don't even want to set up my grill or anything like that, and I just had a moment to be able to cook something. So what I did was, I still technically grilled. I used the flat top griddle. Griddle? Does that count? And I used my cast iron skillet, which I have not used since probably, I don't know, ever. Probably never used it. I have made an all-American kind of breakfast because we're being all-American today. This is called a Cowboy Skillet. And I just basically looked up the concept of a skillet breakfast, and I came across a thing called a Cowboy Skillet, which usually has some sort of like corned beef or some sort of meat in it, bacon usually, and veggies, It's cheese, eggs. Usually it's like a potato hash, but I did a radish hash instead. And then I did some garlic and onions, of course. You guys saw all of that. So that's one red bell pepper. We have zoomed in to the point where. Yep. I have also done 2 pieces of low carb toast with some peanut butter. Not a lot of peanut butter, like literally I just like spread it real thin. And then I've done a berry cheesecake sort of refresher. I don't know, it could be a dessert, it could be anything. I don't know if I'm leaning on the microphone. Bear with me on this, please, please, please. So, as usual, I'm doing a mukbang for my collab video, for a cook video. The problem is I'm all by myself in the house today, so I have no one to bounce off of with this video as far as, you know, like trivia and this, that, and the other. So I'm going to put trivia in here, but I'm going to give you guys a moment to kind of try to answer the questions yourselves, and then I'm going to give you the answers. I also have a 20 fun facts about July 4th, and I want to tell you about the history of Independence Day. So I've got all my information pulled up so I can actually read it, which is really weird to try to read it with my camera literally right in front of the computer. So again, I'm trying. I do believe that everything on here is low carb, keto friendly that I made today, in case you were wondering. Fairly sure. I'm pretty sure this is like one of those OMAD kind of meals, because I don't know, I gotta do the math. I'll let you guys know. You guys know, I'll put it up there. Okay, so July 4th is also known as Independence Day. It is a federal holiday in the United States. Don't talk and chew at the same time, guys. Since 1941. And the Independence Day celebrations are a tradition that dates back to the 18th century and the American Revolution. On July 2nd, 1776, the Continental Congress voted in favor of independence. And 2 days later, delegates from the 13 colonies adopted the Declaration of Independence, which is a historic document. And it was drafted by Thomas Jefferson. And from 1776 to present day, July 4th has been celebrated as the birth of American independence, with festivities that can include like fireworks and cookouts and parades and concerts and, you know, like barbecues. The most traditional thing to do is have typical American food. We usually do some sort of meats, burgers, dogs, steaks, something on the grill typically. Lots of veggies, lots of like berries and pies and stuff like that. Very, very American there. So, the history of Independence Day. Ooh, I'm sweating under this hat. It's just a piece of plastic. Needed my hat. The Revolutionary War started in 1775. And colonists wanted complete independence from Great Britain. And those people that wanted the independence were considered radical. But by the middle of 1776, many, many more colonists had come in favor of independence, and they were growing more hostile towards Britain. And they were just basically, they were spreading pamphlets called Common Sense. And those were published by Thomas Paine in 1776. Get me some of this. I tried one of the radishes before I put it in the pot. I am new to radishes, and I am loving them. On June 7th, the Continental Congress met in Pennsylvania at the State House, which was later called the Independence Hall, in Philadelphia, and the Virginia delegate Richard Henry Lee introduced a motion calling for the colonists' independence. It's hard to pluralize a word that sounds like a plural. Amid the debate, which was really, really heated, Congress postponed the vote on Lee's resolution, but appointed a 5-man committee. Now, this 5-man committee consisted of me being a klutz today. I'm bumping into everything. I swear I've dropped stuff. I'm being a klutz today. It's bad. So the 5-man committee was Thomas Jefferson, John Adams of Massachusetts, Roger Sherman of Connecticut, Benjamin Franklin of Pennsylvania, and Robert Livingston of New York. And they were supposed to draft a formal statement justifying the break between Great Britain and the colonies. They were supposed to come up with the resolution. On July 2nd, the Continental Congress voted in favor of Lee's resolution. Stop. I'll take it. It was near unanimous. The New York delegation abstained, but later voted affirmative. So if you wanted to know what that meant, it was an after vote, basically. On that day, John Adams wrote to his wife Abigail that July 2nd would be celebrated by succeeding generations as a great anniversary festival. And that celebration should include Palm and Parade, which is what they called it, which included games, sports, guns, shooting guns off, bells, bonfires, illuminations from one end of the continent to the other. On July 4th, the Continental Congress formally adopted the Declaration of Independence, which has been written largely by Jefferson. Through the vote for actual independence, though the vote for actual independence took place on the 2nd, the 4th is the day that's celebrated. I hope that makes sense, because it was formally adopted as the Declaration. So early 4th of July celebrations. Traditionally, it was ringing bells, bonfires, processions, and speech making. In the summer of 1776, some colonists celebrated the birth of independence by holding mock funerals for King George III as a way of symbolizing the end of the monarchy, their hold on America, and their triumph of liberty, basically killing off the king and the colonies. Metaphorically, I guess. They would have like concerts and bonfires and parades and shooting cannons and muskets and public readings pretty much immediately after the Declaration of Independence was adopted, or, accepted. The first annual commemoration of independence on July 4th, 1777, was while Congress was still occupied with an ongoing war. George Washington issued double rations of rum to all his soldiers to mark the anniversary of the independence in 1778 and in 1781, several months before the key American victory at the Battle of Yorktown. Massachusetts, I didn't know if you guys knew this, but Massachusetts was the first state to make July 4th an official state holiday. Way to go, Massachusetts. Okay, so many of you are probably wondering, why do we have fireworks? Well, we can't exactly shoot cannons and muskets, can we? The tradition of setting off fireworks for the 4th of July began in Philadelphia in 1777 during the first organized celebration. Ships' cannons were fired at a 13-gun salute in honor of the 13 colonies. The Pennsylvania's Evening Post reported, and I'm going to quote, "At night there was a grand exhibition of fireworks which began and concluded with 13 rockets on the commons, and the city was beautifully illuminated. That same night the Sons of Liberty set off fireworks over Boston Common." So that's where it started, and that's why we set off fireworks, because it's kind of become part of the tradition. It's become part of the celebration. A lot of us that do events and stuff like that set off fireworks, we shoot off a little bit more than 13. So, in 1941, Congress made, hold on, I'm reading backwards here. In 1870, the U.S. Congress made July 4th a federal holiday. So in 1870, it became federal, not just individual states. In 1941, the provision was expanded to grant a paid holiday to all federal employees for the 4th of July. This is so good, I'm not even I'm trying so hard to just not overindulge in the food and focus on the actual topic. But this is so good. So good. It's perfect. Basically, they call this a Cowboy Skillet or Cowboy Breakfast, basically, because it's whatever they had on hand out in the Wild West or whatever. You're going to have wild range eggs. You're going to have some veggies on hand. You're probably going to have some meats on hand, especially if you're like a farmer or something like that. It's a cowboy breakfast. And they throw it all in a skillet, and you're good. Alright. So I'm going to skip down to some trivia, and then we're going to get to the fun facts, okay? Alright, so 20 questions, and so I just read to you some of the stuff. Hopefully you retain some of it. So, question 1. In which year was the Declaration of Independence adopted? (1776). Let me get some more of this. This is my only meal today so far, and it's 12 o'clock. Question 2. Which statesman and president was the principal author of the Declaration of Independence? Did you guess Thomas Jefferson? Because you'd be right. Okay. Question 3. On what date did the Continental Congress vote to declare independence in 1776? What date was the actual vote? Did you say July 2nd? Yep. 2 days before the actual declaration, July 2nd. Apart from Thomas Jefferson, who was the only other signer of the Declaration of Independence to later become President of the United States? What was that? Did you say John Adams? I didn't cover that one. Question 5. Which 3 U.S. presidents have all died on July 4th? We've had 3 of them die on July 4th. Alright, you ready? Thomas Jefferson. Stop hitting him. Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, both in 1826 on their 50th anniversary. On the 50th anniversary. Alright. And James Monroe in 1831. Question 6. In which year did Congress first declare July 4th to be an unpaid federal holiday? I'm acting smug because I have the answers right in front of me. I don't even know. 1870. Number 7. In which year did it become a paid federal holiday? 1938. Did you got any right yet so far, guys? I hope so. Okay, question 8. Which department store chain has sponsored New York's annual 4th of July firework display since 1976? Which department store chain? Who does all the parades? Come on, guys. We know who does the parades in America. Say it. Say it. Lip ring. Macy's. Macy's does all the parades. So, question 9. Held since 1785, which parade is the oldest continuous Independence Day celebration? Which parade? Where is it at? What's it called? I have like corned beef on my toast. That's not where you go. You're part of this. So since 1785, the oldest continuous Independence Parade is the Bristol 4th of July Parade held in Bristol, Rhode Island. Number 10. Who played the role of Captain Stephen Hiller in 1996 movie Independence Day? Y'all have seen Independence Day. I know you've seen Independence Day. It's got aliens. Come on, y'all. If that's not a pun, I don't know. Who played Captain Hiller in Independence Day? Will Smith. Will Smith did it. Question 11. How many colonies signed the Declaration of Independence? Remember, I said they took a vote. How many signed it? This is so good. Oh my gosh, dude. Like, I didn't think the corned or the, well, it's not really corned beef. It's just like a beef hash, I guess. I don't know. No, it's not a hash. It's corned beef. No hash. No potato in it. I got it without the potato. I just kind of threw it in there just for a little bit of extra flavor. And it really, really worked out. Okay. 13 colonies signed the Declaration of Independence. All 13. Why am I sticking to stuff? Question 12. Which signer of the Declaration of Independence became the first U.S. ambassador to France? I'm going to try some of this cheesecake berry. I put strawberries and blueberries in there. Oh, that's good. That's refreshing and like really light. I like that. Oh, this is perfect. It's beautiful. It's got like red and blue and white, and I don't even know if you can see it from this distance. Stop hitting the microphone. Y'all, if you're hearing a lot of thumps, that's me. Because I'm not graceful. So the signer of the Declaration of Independence that became the first U.S. ambassador to France was Benjamin Franklin. You'll see my stalling tactics. Which bird did Benjamin Franklin propose should be the national bird? Do you guys know that he wanted a different national bird? Could you imagine Benjamin Franklin wanted the turkey as our national bird? True fact. Question 14. Why was Independence Day celebrated on the 5th of July in 1779? Why would a holiday be celebrated on the day after? Can you think of a reason? Because in that year, 4th of July was on a Sunday. Question 15. Who played the role of Ron Kovic in the 1989 movie Born on the 4th of July? Honestly, I've never seen this movie. If you don't like the carbs of potatoes, boil some radishes till they're a little bit soft, like al dente, and then throw them in a skillet with a little bit of butter and some garlic. Wow. That is just incredible. Move this a little bit this way so I can try to stop bumping it. Hopefully you can still hear me. Okay. So, Ron Kovic was Tom Cruise in the movie Born on the 4th of July. Question 16. Who is the only U.S. president to have been born on the 4th of July? Which U.S. president has the 4th of July as their birthday? Had 3 die on the 4th of July and 1 born. Isn't that crazy? Calvin Coolidge, 1872. Calvin Coolidge. One of the most forgotten presidents, unfortunately. When you go to list off presidents, you're like Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, Lincoln. People forget about Coolidge. I like Eisenhower. That's a cool name. Question 17. What do the 13 stripes on the flag of the United States represent? I don't know if this, no, that's just stars. I was about to say, I got a flag somewhere other than right there. Can't exactly move that. I've got my skillet on top of it. There's a piece of bacon under there. I use turkey bacon, by the way. The 13 stripes of the flag represent the 13 colonies who signed the Declaration of Independence. Could you imagine, though, if the vote wasn't unanimous but it was passed through, how many stripes we would have on our flag? Question 18. In which city was the Declaration of Independence signed? the grease or the oil or whatever from the olive oil and everything, the meat, is just pooling at the bottom, so I'm going to pull it up a little. It was signed in Philadelphia. Philadelphia. Okay, this one I don't know either. Question 19. What were the Dunlap broadsides? The Dunlap broadsides. Do you guys know? That's not something I learned in school. The Dunlap broadsides were the first printed copies of the Declaration of Independence. Last question. Question 20. Which statesman is remembered for his large, stylish signature on the Declaration of Independence? Every American should get this one, because it was just a big FU to the king, like, there's my name. Come on, y'all. When you give your signature, what are you giving? What do you call it? Y'all better have said your John Hancock. John Hancock. Biggest signature on the Declaration of Independence. He wanted his name to be seen. So when you give your signature, make it all beautiful. That's your John Hancock. Alright. 20 fun facts about the 4th of July. Alright. So I don't know if they're fun facts or if they're just random facts. Not entirely sure what would be fun about a holiday celebrated because of a war kind of thing. So, number 1. Congress made Independence Day an unofficial paid holiday for federal employees in 1870. In 1938, Congress changed Independence Day to a paid federal holiday. We knew that. Number 2, only John Hancock actually signed the Declaration of Independence on July 4th, 1776. Everybody else that signed it, signed after, later, another day. He was the only one to actually sign on July. He was first in line. Number 3, the Declaration of Independence was signed by 56 men from 13 colonies. You would assume 13. One from each colony as a representative, but 56. Number 4, the average age of signers of the Declaration of Independence was 45. The youngest was Thomas Lynch Jr. He was 27, of South Carolina, and the oldest was Benjamin Franklin. He was 70, of Pennsylvania. And the lead author was Thomas Jefferson. He was 33. Number 5, 1 out of 8 signers of the Declaration of Independence were educated at Harvard. Number 6, only 2 signers of the Declaration of Independence who later served as presidents of the United States were John Adams and Thomas Jefferson. Number 7, the stars on the original American flag were in a circle. You remember that? It's a blue square, the stars in a circle. So all the colonies would appear equal. Number 8, the first Independence Day celebration took place in Philadelphia on July 8th, 1776. This was also the day that the Declaration of Independence was first read in public after people were summoned by ringing the Liberty Bell. Number 9. The White House held its first 4th of July party in 1801. I didn't know that either. That's pretty cool. These radishes are like so soft. They're like potato soft. So good. Number 10. President John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, and James Monroe all died on the 4th. Adams and Jefferson both signed the Declaration and died on the same day within hours of each other in 1826. We knew that, right? We just read that. Number 11. Benjamin Franklin proposed the turkey as the national bird, but was overruled by John Adams and Thomas Jefferson, who recommended the bald eagle. So thank you guys for not making us have the turkey. Could you imagine the jokes there? Especially since, you know, turkeys. Number 12. In 1776, there was 2.5 million people living in the new nation. Today, the population of the USA is 316 million. I'm probably sure it's way more than that. I don't know when this was written up there. But in 1776, it was 2.5 million people in the United States. Number 13. 59 places in the U.S. contain the word liberty in the name. There's Pennsylvania has 11 places with the word liberty, which is the most places than any other state. 4 counties are named Liberty. Liberty County, Georgia, Liberty County, Florida, Liberty County, Montana, and Liberty County, Texas. Number 14. The most common patriotic sounding word used within place names is union, with 136. Pennsylvania has 33 places named union as the most than any other state. The most commonly used union places are also Washington with 127, Franklin with 118, Jackson with 96, and Lincoln with 95. Oh, the most commonly used place names. Sorry, I'm like dirt. Yeah, other names used other than Union and Liberty are Washington, Franklin, Jackson, Lincoln. And nowadays it's like Martin Luther King or MLK or something like that. We use those a lot too. And Providence. I see Providence like everywhere. The word Providence. Number 15. Fireworks are part of a tradition of celebrating this holiday. The U.S. imported $227.3 million worth of fireworks from China in 2012. The U.S. exports of fireworks, by comparison, was just $11.7 million in 2012, with Israel purchasing more than any other country of $2.5 million. Number 16. In 2012, I'm guessing this was written in 2012 or 13. Vast majority of imported U.S. flags was $3.6 million, and they were made in China. Alright, those 2 pieces of turkey bacon look absolutely disastrous, so I'm not going to eat them. They got stuck under all that grease. Number 17. I'm on 17, right? barbecue is also big on Independence Day. Approximately 150 million hot dogs and 700 million pounds of chicken are consumed on Independence Day. I think they meant to pluralize barbecues. Number 18, every July 4th, the Liberty Bell in Pennsylvania is tapped, but not wrong, tapped, 13 times in honor of the original 13 colonies. Number 19, traditions place the origins of Yankee Doodle, y'all know that song, Yankee Doodle Dandy, as a pre-Revolutionary War, originally sung by British military officers to mock the disheveled, disorganized colonial Yankees with whom they served in the French and Indian War. It was believed that the tune comes from a nursery rhyme, Lucy Locket. One version of the Yankee Doodle lyrics is generally attributed to Dr. Richard Shuckburgh, a British Army surgeon. According to one story, Shuckburgh wrote the song after seeing the appearance of colonial troops under Colonel Thomas Fitch V, the son of the Connecticut governor, Thomas Fitch. And number 20, fun fact. The tune of the national anthem was originally used by an English drinking song called Anacreon in Heaven. Anacreon, I don't know. I can't pronounce the word. In heaven. The words have nothing to do with the consumption of alcohol, but the melody that Francis Key had in mind when he wrote those words did originate decades earlier as the melody for a song in the praise of wine. So, those were my 20 fun facts, the history of Independence Day, and some questions and trivia, fun information. So I'm going to finish my berries. I don't even know if you can see them. They're beautiful. And then I'm going to probably finish one of my pieces of toast. I keep getting hash on it. Or not hash. I keep using hash. I keep getting corned beef on it. I'll pick it up, the corned beef falls right out. But I'm probably not going to have the second piece of toast. That's just, yeah. So, I want to thank you guys for joining me for the celebration for July 4th. And please check out all of the other collaborators within this collab. I will tag their videos or save their videos in a playlist under it's going to be titled Collabs. I've also done collabs with a lot of these other YouTubers, these channels before, so check out the prior collab videos as well. Get familiarized with them. I will try very hard in the description to have links for everybody once I am able to put everything together. I am so glad to be part of this collab community. We are doing a bunch of cookouts. We have another one planned, I think, at the end of summer. I don't remember, like a back to school kind of cookout sort of thing. So I will keep you guys updated on that. And again, happy Independence Day, happy July 4th, and I wish you all the best. Thank you to all the current active military and the vets and everyone that is fighting for our nation, because that just needs to be said. If it wasn't for us standing up for ourselves and standing up for each other in this world, we wouldn't have independence. We wouldn't have these celebrations, and we wouldn't have the history that we have. So thank you for your service. It is greatly appreciated. Thank you for joining this collab. Please check everybody else out. And thank you so much for all your support and continued positivity on my channel. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. You're all awesome. You're all part of the Fairy fam. And I love you. So, happy Independence Day. Bye.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.